I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.
You know, my greatest fear as a heterosexual man in the United States is that our society gets to a point where we start prosecuting men because resentful, jealous ex-girlfriends or side pieces are upset that they're not getting the attention they feel they deserve and that you're treating other women better than them. I always say this, if it's her body, her choice. It's my wallet, my choice. This woman, Jane Doe number 2, she's openly admitting her jealousy of his other girlfriends that she would see him with on the internet. That's the same issues that a regular guy like me would have. So no matter that he's a superstar, celebrity, billionaire, he still has to deal with the same petty, nonsensical bullshit that the rest of the men have to deal with. Just because he has money, nothing's any easier or any better. If anything, it's worse because now his generosity is being used against him. Now they're saying, well, even though you're taking care of her because you guys sleep together, she's kind of like your girlfriend, your little side piece. But we think that that money is more of you paying her for selling herself, for escorting. And they're now basically insulting these women, calling them prostitutes instead of his girlfriends. The girls have never said that they were prostitutes. Diddy's never called them prostitutes. Diddy said, these are my girlfriends. The girls say that we're with Diddy. The government is now saying that they're prostitutes. And they're insulting these women who are their witnesses to their face and destroying their names publicly because they're so desperate for a conviction that's not here. This is going to likely end in a hung jury only because there will be 1 or 2 women holdouts who are going to say, because what women do is this, they're going to project the man that broke up with them when they got too old and they see them on the internet with a new wife and kids and a younger, prettier woman. She wishes she could have took him to court and sent him to jail for leaving her for another woman. They want that same revenge on Puff. You see that a lot with these court cases. People kind of project their own world and their own life experience into these cases, and the revenge that they never got for themselves, they try to get it for other people, and they try to basically punish these men for things that were done to them that have nothing to do with them. In a stunning courtroom moment, Jane Doe took the stand and confessed under oath that she was jealous of Gina, Young Miami, and miscellaneous other women in Diddy's life. Her emotional testimony painted a picture not of abuse, but of envy, competition, and obsession. She's obsessed with the attention that Puffy would get because as a woman, she wishes she was getting that kind of attention. She described feeling left out during vacations and envious of the gift that other women would receive from Puffy. Why is this in court? Why is she on the stand? This is not him coercing you to do anything. This is not him trafficking you. This is not him pimping you out or purchasing you. And this is not racketeering, and this is not an enterprise of racketeering. Why are we here? She described, she admitted that her feelings of jealousy may have shaped how she now views their past relationship. So basically, things that she saw later, because the man was trying to break up with her. He told her, if you don't like how I am, he sounded just like me. If you don't like how I am, or you don't like what I'm saying, you don't like how I talk, then bounce. Leave me alone. Don't fuck with me no more. Don't call me, don't text me. Do you. Do you. You don't have to deal with me. There's other fish in the sea. Go get another man. You don't have to be with me. Literally the same things I've said to people in the past. Can they now come after me and say, hey, Rico, all the stuff that we used to do that was real nasty back in the day? Yeah, I didn't want to do it. Now I changed my mind because I see you moved on. You got a new girlfriend. I see your little wedding band. Where's my wedding band? I took it off. I was just gonna do it work. I see your wedding band. So can somebody now, because they see me wearing a wedding band, sue me or try to prosecute me criminally for a relationship that I broke up with them 8 years ago because they're jealous of something they see today? That's what this is looking like. That's happening to Diddy. This powerful admission raises serious questions about motive, credibility, and the narrative being spun in the courtroom. The reason I led with the title today, that the trial confession, Jane Doe wanted Diddy all to herself, because anybody who knew me personally, especially in Los Angeles, I live a poly lifestyle myself, where I have a girlfriend or maybe 2 girlfriends that live with me. And then we all meet other women and we date. It's my own lifestyle. It's my own lifestyle choice. I live my own way. It might be, if you're a vanilla regular guy, you have one girlfriend and you and her just go and play pinochle on the weekends and pickleball and watch movies every day, and you and her, that's your lifestyle. Don't project that onto me. I don't live like that. I like to go out and party. I get drunk. I have wild, crazy sex, and and I have different women I'm dealing with, whatever. But they all have one thing in common. They're just women. And they're all really good looking. So, of course, when a man sees her with me, he's going to slide into her DMs, or he's going to try to, talk to her and holler at her on the side. The first thing he's going to say is, I would never want to share you. It would just be me and you. We're going to be together. I'm just going to be your man. And, every woman in the back of her head, she's like, I want my own Rico. How am I sharing Rico with these other women? I want my own Rico. Little do they understand. The man you're thinking you're going to go get with, he has other women too. You're never going to have your own Rico. You're always going to be sharing him, period. If he's worth anything, you're sharing your man. And then when you finally do get a man that you don't got to share, you're going to be so bored with the fact that there's no other women that want him that you're going to find Rico or someone Rico adjacent, and you're going to cheat with him. There is no right answer when it comes to dealing with women in the U.S. Not anymore. Those days are over. Se acabó. So the reason I led with that is because I've been in that situation. The fact that they're actually making this public spectacle and bringing in the feds and threatening to take this man's entire livelihood, all the accomplishments, all the money, everything away from him based on this bullshit testimony is beyond me. It's scary. But I want you guys to hear what Unc has to say. Unc is from the Podcast with Soul. Follow him on YouTube, the Podcast with Soul. If I can, I'll bring him on for an interview if I can get him on here. But I like his takes. I like what he's saying. So let's hear what Unc has to say.
Poison the jury's mind about how bad Puffy is. Now, Puffy is not the best of dudes, right? And I'm not overlooking the fact that he assaulted Cassie.
No. None of us are saying he didn't attack her in that hallway. What happened in the room? I don't know. What if she did steal his phone? Doesn't matter. He grabbed her by the hoodie, not by her throat. He grabbed her by the hoodie and pulled her to the ground. He's barefoot wearing socks. He kicked her. He didn't stomp her in with Timberlands, drop elbows on her, stab her, punch her. None of that happened. The video looks bad, but when you look at it, he didn't do her too dirty. I've seen way worse domestic violence videos than that. Let's be real. All domestic violence looks bad. It wasn't a horrible situation. But even that was 10 years ago, 2015. Outside of statute of limitations, and she didn't report a crime. Those videos should not be used to convict him. This is not a domestic violence case. RICO is not one of the domestic violence is not one of the charges of RICO. They're not trying to pull everything from his past, from when he was 5 years old till now, to piece together how he's just this evil man, a part of a criminal enterprise, that he seems to be the only person in the enterprise. None of his celebrity friends are even coming to the free calls. So imagine, that's another thing I think somebody should, I think is a crime. What about Diddy's friends? Did none of them want to fuck Cassie? Because I'm thinking like, you let everybody, you paying people to come fuck your girlfriends. You don't gotta. What about your boys? What about Bentley? Bentley couldn't get none. You gotta pay these other guys. You couldn't throw. What about the locks? You couldn't throw. You couldn't. Make up. But maybe Puffy don't got a lot of friends no more. He didn't took everybody publishing. But I would feel shafted that everybody else come over there and hit. But when Rico want to hit, now it's a crime. But everybody else come over here, Sly, the chef, this random nigga, the dude that shot up the Trump Tower. But you can't invite Rico over to shoot up nothing? All right. That's cool. Whatever, Puff. Not that I know Puff, but if I did, me and him wouldn't be friends no more because I'm like, so I can't come over and fuck everybody. So, because everybody else getting the call. Rico couldn't get the call? Yeah, all right, Puff.
I'm not overlooking the fact that he committed domestic violence against Cassie. I'm not overlooking the fact that he did battery to Cassie, right? These things we all know. But I think what everybody is in the courtroom, and everybody doesn't feel the way I feel. You got some people in the courtroom that feel like, this needs to be said, right? So that we can get a conviction of Puff, right? But then you have other people that are here that are saying like, yo, get on with it already, right? Crystal McClain, what up? Thank you for that super chat, Crystal. I see you. Get on with it already. Prove the sex trafficking. Prove the selling of the body. Prove the RICO. Get on with it already.
As of right now, being diligent members of the public, people that are fans, people that are watching at home, because you got to think about it. Whatever happens here is going to set the precedent for what's going to happen to you next. So if they say, hey, ex-girlfriends can now retroactively remove consent and go after their boyfriends and say, hey, the whole relationship we had of 3 or 4 years was actually me being a victim where I was trafficked the whole time and you were abusing me. Well, now that's a whole new can of worms where anybody can get prosecuted. You're listening to this right now. You don't even realize you got an ex-girlfriend who's also listening to this, who's watching this case. And they're trying to figure out how, because, these women, they don't rebuild themselves every few years. They get money from men while they're youthful and pretty, but eventually the youth fades and they become what you would call older. Once she's older, she can no longer demand the type of financial support or access to her that she could once demand when she was in her 20s. So now she has the same type of lifestyle wants. She has the same type of bills, but she's not able to command the resources from men to cover those. So what she has, so now she's going to feel like, well, now she feels like she's being abused because a lot of men aren't asking her out on dates anymore. No one's fighting over her anymore. There's no people blowing up her phone and begging her for her time. And she's going to start to think, well, I need money now. I need to pay for bills. My bills are the same. My value went down. And I was only making money and sustaining myself off of my value based on my looks. These are not women who build things. They don't create businesses and services. For one thing, if you create a new business, a business requires work. These are women who don't want to work. They want to monetize their beauty. Puffy has a particular type. These women who are Asian or mixed with Asian, based on their genetics, Asian women look younger, longer. They maintain their shape because culturally they have a certain type of diet that's not heavy in starches and artificial fats. They eat a lot of sushi and noodles and soups. So they keep their youthfulness and their beauty and their small shape longer. Other women, not so much. By the time they turn 28, it's a wrap. She's auntie now. Once you get past that point, you're still going to need money. Access, if you don't have an ex-husband that you can sue for alimony, and if you don't have a baby dad that has money that you can sue for child support, You're going to have to find another man and you're going to have to accuse him of some sort of abuse so that you can try to extract resources and get money that way. You're running out of options. That's what's happening to Diddy here now. These women were in high demand in their 20s. Even 50 Cent's baby mom, she was in demand in her 30s because she's 50 Cent's baby mom. So if you hate 50 Cent, the ultimate get back is to get his baby mom. You know, the way 50 Cent did when he went after Rick Ross's baby mothers and put those in his videos and took pictures with her and their sons, and he was smacking them all up. You know, that's how you get back at a man. You know, I tell people that's my number one threat to a dude. Me and you get into it, bro. We fall out. I'm gonna take your bitch. I'm hollering at your girl if we fall out. Hopefully we don't. It doesn't come down to that. But if it does, that's our girl now. It could be your ex. Dudes don't even want nobody messing with their ex. 50 Cent hates Diddy, and we know why. He called his ex a sex worker, but really she was Diddy's girlfriend. Diddy's giving her money and paying her bills. It's not like they didn't have a relationship. It's a very fine line between calling somebody a sex worker and a girlfriend. I'll be honest with you, I don't know the difference. I'll be honest, besides a ring, I don't know the difference between a wife and a prostitute. You got to think about it. A wife rewards her husband for things that he does for her with sex. What does a prostitute do? Rewards the clients that pay for her time, because remember, paying for sex is illegal. Paying for someone's time is free. Paying for someone's time is legal. The sex is free. So you buy the time, the sex is included, it's optional. So it's kind of like the same thing, whether it's a wife, whether it's an escort, whether it's a girlfriend, whether it's a sugar baby, they all can only offer you one thing when they're happy with you or when they want to give you a treat or reward, and that's sex. And really the only thing you can do for them is give them money and stuff. You know, some men might take it a bit too far. They really like the sex with this woman, and she might be a borderline sex worker or a prostitute, but guess what? He really likes sex with her. She looks really good when she wakes up. She takes care of herself. He'll buy her a house. He'll buy her a car so she can get back and forth to him. But just like Diddy, if we're not still sleeping together no more, I'm not taking care of your bills. Those are I'll take care of your expenses as long as you're my woman. But once we break up, you are on your own. That's not coercion. That's not force. Those are my terms. That's an ultimatum. You cannot say someone is threatening you because they want to keep their money to themselves and not give it to you or share it with you. No one owes you anything. No one has to share their money with you. It's your body, your choice. You can do whatever you want with your body. But it's also his wallet, his choice. Saying that Diddy is saying that he's going to take their money away if they don't have sex, well, you're fucking right. I'm only giving you money because we're having sex, not because I'm just doing charity and you're a nonprofit. No. It has to make sense. It has to be beneficial for both of us, not just for you or just for me. Now, technically, we're both having sex with each other. You're enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. But I'm giving you money because you're pretending that you're not able to work because you're spending all your time with me. I've been in a relationship like that where I had a girlfriend. She worked at Starbucks. I wanted to stay. I want to go out and be out till 4 or 5 in the morning. She's like, I got to go to work at 10. I'm like, well, how much you gonna make tomorrow at work? She's like, I make, 15 an hour, probably gonna, make 180 for the day. I'm like, look, here goes $200, call off tomorrow. That way we can be up all night partying, having sex, doing this and this, and then you can just take off the next day. You don't have to worry about getting up at 9 a.m. I've done that before. That's normal. That's what a lot of men do when you're trying to earn the favor of a woman. If you're going to criminalize that, then this whole landscape in this country is going to change. It's already changing now where men are saying, I'm not taking these women on vacation. I'm not paying their rent no more. Look how it's being weaponized against you. If you take a woman on vacation, oh, well, she's not your girlfriend. She's not your wife. So that's kind of sex trafficking because she's a prostitute. So they'll insult these women directly just to get a conviction. Even if these women aren't prostitutes, they're your girlfriends. But They'll tell you that they're prostitutes. I mean, like I said, it's a very thin line. So let's keep that in mind.
Right? Yeah, we know he used ecstasy. Right. We know that he has multiple women. We know.
And him using drugs is different than him selling drugs. This isn't a drug case. This isn't a domestic violence case. This isn't well, if he's a bad boss that I don't like, he goes to prison. This is not that type of case. You can't send somebody to jail for being an asshole. If that was the case, I wouldn't be sitting here right now.
That he stole a Snickers bar in the 5th grade. We know that he stole somebody's bike after school when he was a sophomore in high school. We know that, he broke a window and ran away. And then we know this stuff. Where is the RICO? That's what a lot of people, from what I'm hearing, are saying, right?
Where is the goddamn RICO? Okay, I'm right here. But not the RICO as in me. I'm talking about where's the racketeering and conspiracy operation? You cannot be a one-man army. Meaning, they're saying that Puffy is not only the pimp, but he's also the John. So he's selling Cassie, he's selling these women as prostitutes to himself as the customer. So he's a dual agent. He's working for both the buyer and the seller. Is that what you guys want me to believe? That Diddy's his only customer is himself? He's not selling women. He's not selling drugs. He's not selling sex. He's not selling anything. He has his own fantasies, and people do it every single day. It's okay if you like to have gangbangs. You can't, regrettable sex is not rape. It's not, and it will never be.
Now, what Jane Doe has been complaining about the most is how much she loved Puffy. And she is jealous of Gina. She's jealous of Young Miami. She's jealous of this girl named Chelsea in Washington, D.C. Puffy has got all of these women, and Puffy repeatedly tells her in the text messages, they put up the text messages. Jane Doe is always saying, go be with them other hoes.
I don't mean to laugh so hard. Go be with them other hoes. That's something that regular men like myself are told by women. So you mean to tell me the billionaire celebrity with houses in the Hamptons and in Miami, and he's in London, and he still got raggedy, poor women telling him to go be with your other hoe? So it doesn't get any better? It doesn't get any easier? It's still a headache? It doesn't, you still get the same thing from them, which is a temporary ejaculation. That's it? And you're still dealing with the same problems that regular poor people, poor men deal with? Then what's the point of all the hard work and all the effort? What's the point of buying them all these clothes and taking them to all these stores and all the shopping and the private jets if a year later she's gonna go get with your other hoes, go be with your other hoes? And what the, that's the same thing regular guys here. So I say this to say there's no right answer. When it comes to these modern women, when it comes to these American women, the truth is, if it isn't one thing, it's going to be another. There is no making them happy. They're going to complain about everybody. These women will go from sleeping with the billionaire to sleeping with the butler. They don't give a damn. They have no sense of balance where they're like, okay, maybe I should scale this way or that. No. They don't care. They'll be with the billionaire, then they'll sleep with the bouncer, then they'll sleep with the valet, then they'll sleep with the fucking mailman, the gardener. And the billionaire, at the end, they're going to go to him because he's the one with the money and sue him and pretend that he abused them by breaking up with them. And that's financial abuse. And by financially abusing her, her mental state crumbled. So that's financial and mental abuse. And you should give her money to help with her treatment. And extraction of resources. Why isn't it that me and all the men you've been sleeping with, why aren't we just dividing up the bill? 10%. If there's 10 men, we all pay 10% of the bill. Why is this the billionaire being stuck with the tab? It's just not fair. These women were not virgins when they met Diddy. This is ludicrous.
You know, you don't treat me the way you treat, you treat them. Pappy's Kitchen over there send me that British pound. I see your Instagram and you're spending time with these other hoes and you don't spend time with me. I want you to spend time with me. She's checking out Young Miami's Instagram. Young Miami's name came up today. Gina's name came up today. Some girl named Cassie's name came up today. Glow, what up? Why you don't do for me what you do for them? Puffy repeatedly tells her, I'm single. I'm single. If you want to leave, leave. You texting me about these women I'm witnessing that. And I told you from the gate that I got multiple women. I told you that. I got a lot of honeys. I told you that. You understand? I'm single. I don't need this. You always texting me, telling me what I'm doing wrong. You understand? And all Jane Doe could say, our relationship. She's on the stand. And then she go to crying. She go to crying about Puff being with all these other girls. But he told you what it was from the gate. You understand? And, all she's talking about, I've committed this much time to the relationship, our relationship. And, only time whenever Puffy get with her, it's to do a hotel night, according to her testimony. Now, we still got to wait on the direct examination. Excuse me. We still got to wait. What you laughing at? You laughing at me? True Hall of Fame, Bill. Very few content creators keep it real like you. That's why I do reactions to your videos. You're a true Hall of Fame. Appreciate you, man. I want to give a shout out to everybody that sent me Cash App over the weekend. Let me see if I can pull it up. Hold on. Shout out to Larry Bethia, Ann Hill, Monique McClure, Eli Mars, Frou Fines, Todd Kelly, Curtis Mason, Anthony State, everybody that sent Cash Apps over the weekend. Let me put my Cash App up there because y'all be asking me about it.
I really do appreciate Unc. I really like what Unc is doing. He got to sound like that gritty New York accent. All these New York guys I know, they all sound like Unc, man. I like the way they talk. So let's listen. I like his breakdown.
Yeah. You promised you was gonna take me. This is Jane Doe. Then you was on the podcast bragging about how you had sex for 48 hours straight with her. But with me, it was nothing. Then they never addressed Friday when we closed court. Mark Agnifilo raised the issue about the notes. Jane.
Do you guys see what I'm talking about when I say that we can't allow people to be vengeful and use the courts to get revenge against their ex-boyfriends? Oh, you're bragging about having sex for 48 hours with Carisha, but with me, it's no big deal. Like, get the fuck out of here. That's why. So and they're bringing this up in court. So if this isn't the issue, then why are you talking about it in court? Obviously, this makes a difference. It makes a huge difference.
No, she goes in her phone and she types notes to herself. So she says. And Mark Agnifilo, Puffy's lead attorney, raised the issue like.
And mind you, none of these women are his wife. They're just girlfriends, side pieces. We're not married. You're not obligated to me. I'm not obligated to you. You don't need to make a voice note to yourself about me. Just don't fucking call me no more. Just move on. Go get another man. Just move on. You don't have to deal with me no more. Why are you doing all this? If he's that bad, leave him alone. You don't live with him. Somebody's paying your bills. Get a fucking job and go pay him yourself. It's easy. You don't want somebody to hold something over your head? Then take care of yourself. You're an adult in America. You're a woman. Hear you roar. Just roar. Pay your own bills. Take care of yourself. You have full agency. You have the right to drive. You have the right to work. You have a right to vote. You're not an invalid. Take care of yourself. Then you don't have to worry about a man trying to sleep with you because he buys you a drink, or trying to sleep with you because you take you out to dinner. If you never want to have sex and you don't want to sleep with men, you don't have to worry about somebody trying to sleep with you. Take care of yourself and be a recluse. Just stay to yourself. Because that's what it's all coming off. Like, women don't have sexual organs. They don't have any desires. They don't want to do nothing. They don't have fantasies. It's all just for a man. Well, then what the fuck are lesbians doing? Why do lesbians even exist? Why do lesbians care to have sex if sex is only for the pleasure of men and women get nothing from it? Make it make sense.
You know, this shouldn't be admissible in court. You understand? Because these are just her thoughts. But then Maureen Comey says, oh, it references her state of mind. They argued about that Friday after court, but they didn't bring it up this morning. So anyway, I'm going to read to you another note that she put up today. This is a note that she wrote to herself. As much as I want to see you, I don't want to feel like a hoe. You have other women. I don't want to be locked in a room to fulfill your sexual fantasies. Puffy hits her back. Girl, that was podcast talk. If you believe me, Puffy tell her, if you believe that, then don't fuck with me. He tell her. After Puffy say that, if you believe that, then leave me alone. She text.
There's no way you can prove to me somebody is being forcefully trafficked or prostituted or or anything if the person you're saying is doing it is literally in messages saying, leave me alone. Don't call me, leave me. You do not say that to somebody who's your prisoner or somebody who you're forcing to do anything. You say it to somebody who is an option. This was an option. You didn't have to deal with this man. He's asking you to leave me alone. Stop calling me. Go be with somebody else. I'm a man. There's other men on this jury. There's no man that's going to sit here Watch the fact that he's telling a woman, leave me alone. And the court's going to be able to say, well, even though you said leave me alone, actually she's still your victim because she can't leave you alone because she left. Like, that's not a real defense. I'm asking her to leave me alone, tell her to go meet somebody else. Why is she still calling me? So what? I have money. A lot of men have money. Or are you only dealing with me because of my money? Then maybe she's preying on me. I told you since the beginning, the only victim I see in this whole case since Cassie has been Diddy. These women are cheating on him, lying to him, plotting on him, scheming on him, and now they're testifying against him. Diddy is the victim here, and he's always been. And it's a shame if you don't want to admit that, but that is the case. Yes, one domestic violence video doesn't mean you can shake me down and take everything I've built my entire life. Get the hell out of here.
Come right back. You said you would take me, and you took her on your yacht. You have other women. Puffy texts her back. Bye. You always tripping on me. Jane Doe. Reality is seeing who we are. I don't want to feel obligated about the $10,000 a month you giving me for my rent. Then she testifies that she felt like I had to perform because Puffy paid my rent. Jane Doe texts Puffy back, I miss my pretty hard dick. You turned me on so crazy. Puffy texts her, hey, where's the chef? The chef is the dude, one of the entertainers. Is it Cabra? Cabra, he the chef? Because they was going to get together. She said that when Puffy...
She knows the terms of their agreement. He asks, how's the chef doing? Because I'll be honest with you, if you listen closely to the freak offs, the only person that's not really doing much freaking is Diddy. He's a voyeur. It seems to me like he was so emotionally damaged by Cassie cheating on him so many times over the years that he has a inferiority complex. So what he was doing with Cassie was he was trying to compensate for where he thought he might lack in his genitals by hiring men who were sex objects for Cassie to play with. Because he's like, you know, if you're going to cheat, instead of cheating behind my back with a man who has a bigger penis, how about I set it up for you? That way you don't have to sneak around me because you're already sneaking and doing it. How about I keep it together, you know, that way, and I know these men are tested. You know, that's how people do in these relationships. That's how hurt this man was. Because if you think about it, they say Diddy's flaccid when there's ever men around doing the freak offs. He's whacking a flaccid wang. It's never stiff, and he's like enjoying himself. He's just pretending like he's just buying time. And he doesn't want these women to cheat and go behind his back, but it's kind of like watching live porn. Everybody watches porn. But if you have the resources, what if you can watch it live? And if the women you know are cheaters who like to sneak around with different men anyway, why wouldn't you just facilitate it? Now you got different men for them. They don't got to cheat. It all started, it seems like, with Cassie. And now he's thinking that that's the answer for all these women. They're all promiscuous women. Diddy's only one man with one penis. He knows they're using him just for his money. But when they want more sex, they're going to have to go sneak behind his back, cheat on him, and embarrass him the way Cassie did with Cuddy, Michael B. Jordan, and all these other men she was sneaking around with. Now the personal trainer that she's married to. He's basically trying to figure out a way to stop these women from cheating on him. You guys don't understand what it does to a man when a woman cheats on him. Because it's happened to me before. We sit there and we pontificate on where we went wrong, what we lack. See, men are not like women, right? We don't deflect and start to blame other people for what happened to us. Men, we internalize cheating and we think to ourselves, where did we go wrong? What can we do better next time? So you know what some men do? They go to the gym. You know what else they do? They start taking pills to make their penis bigger, or they do the ocho cinco and go get the surgery, or they figure out they can watch porn, so they'll try to whack it before they're with their girl so they can last longer. Men are always trying to improve ourselves so that we can be better sexually for women, so that'll decrease the odds of us getting cheated on. Because it takes us a while before we figure out that you're going to get cheated on regardless. I knew a dude that had a 12, 13. Couldn't keep a girl to save his life. One of my best friends. Always depressed and sad. All he wanted was love. To never find love. End up going to jail because he was so confused and so shocked why the woman he was in love with cheated on him with a man whose penis was half his size. He lost his mind. He crashed out. They got him for breaking and entering, attempted assault. And he's a really sweet, nice guy, but he didn't know why he was getting cheated on. He thought he knew. He thought he had all the answers. He spent money on her. He did everything. But these are women, modern women. There is no right answer. I kind of picture if Diddy's dealing with all the other stuff regular guys are dealing with, I'm pretty sure he's dealing with these emotions too. And the money doesn't really help. What can you really do with money anyway? A bunch of cars. You live in New York. You don't drive. You can buy a bunch of food, but you don't want to get too fat. Shit, you're fucking. So what else can you really buy with the money? You can't even buy happiness. These women aren't happy. Even if they get off the private jet, 20 minutes later, they're back complaining and they're back texting some poor dude who doesn't have a jet. A personal trainer. Actually, they're actually starting to develop feelings for the sex worker men, the male escorts. They're developing feelings for them. You're the billionaire. You would think all these women would just be smitten over you. No, that's not it, and there's no right answer. These other guys too, they want them all. I'm just hoping that there's some sensible male jurors in there who understand women. If you can understand women in this case, it's open and shut. This is just a waste of time if you understand women.
In context of that, she was upset, disappointed, and felt defeated. She was on a flight flying from LA to New York. Then she starts crying on the stand. They go, when she lands in New York, they go to Trump Hotel. They go to the Trump Hotel in New York. What hotel do they go to? Somebody put it in the live chat. What's the name of the hotel? This is the second time he'd been at that hotel. I need 500 thumbs up. I need 500 thumbs up. Double tap that screen. What's that hotel, DOM? What's the name? Who is that guy? Who is that guy? What does he do? So they go to the Trump Hotel, and when she gets there, Puffy's stylist greets her and takes her shopping to get some shoes and an outfit. Tomorrow's leaders, who is that? What did he do? What does he do? Jane Doe realizes that this is going to be a hotel night and she's going to perform with an entertainer, and Puffy texts her, we don't have to do it. If you don't want to do it, we don't have to do it. The same day that she's saying on the stand that she wasn't with it, that she felt defeated, depressed, upset, disappointed, that Puffy did it. That Puffy.
It's amazing. It's amazing to me that we're actually having court cases where men are facing life in prison over women's fluctuating ass feelings. Do you know how the feelings of women change? You know, how some, but didn't finish it. Why didn't you finish it? You know how some people, they're hungry and then you eat, you're not hungry no more? That's how fast the feelings a woman has for a man can change. They might wake up in the morning and hate you, love you at lunch, hate you again by dinner, and then just be impartial with you for the rest of the night. That's why I'm not married. That's why I don't have a living girlfriend anymore. I moved her out. I would come home, she'd be in a good mood, she'd be in a bad mood, or whatever, and I'm in a good mood. But I'm one of those people, I forgot what it's called, where somebody else's energy will bring me to where they are. So I kind of like, my body, I naturally just adjust. So if she's in a bad mood, it'll bring me down. And I won't understand what's wrong because at the time she doesn't work or pay bills or anything. So what are you so upset about? Couldn't do it. So I'm not living with anybody anymore. Women's feelings, they fluctuate too much for me. There's not enough stability. I'm a Capricorn, I'm a man. I need stability. And I'll be honest with you, the juice doesn't work to squeeze. Oh, what are women supposed to do traditionally? Cook and clean. Do you think these women cook and clean anymore? No, they don't. Their houses are nasty. Their bedrooms are nasty. They can't cook for shit. Or they're just pretending they can cook on the internet to get men to want to date them because none of the men they know in real life want to date them or they would be off the market. But they're trying to pretend and bait you in with food they're doing online or pretend like they're just clean. Oh, I'm just doing these TikTok videos, doing laundry. You don't do laundry. You would get a maid and call DoorDash if you could. It's all just scams. So I started doing the math. It's cheaper for me to just have a chef and a maid than it is for me to have a live-in girlfriend who I got to pay for everything for her anyway. My food bill alone, when I'm moving out, a live-in girlfriend was enough to cover the chef, the maid, half the rent. Because, you know, these women, they eat a lot too, several times a day. And they don't want regular cheap food. They want good stuff. And they think they deserve it just because they have a vagina. And it's not even they're saying that and they all think they have the best vagina with the most amazing dexterity. And they're wrong. But men were just programmed to want to be codependent. So we put up with these things, but then you end up with somebody like seeing what's going on with Diddy. It's an eye opener. And it makes you want to be smarter and stronger and not end up in his situation. So no, these unstable women, and we're having court cases about them. Learn from these mistakes. These women are for recreational use only. Don't get too involved. Don't care how many kids she got or how hungry she is. Stop helping them, or you're gonna end up like this.
You want to do that Puffy want to do a hotel night. The same day, Jane Doe, Texas Cabral, the male entertainer herself, and she asked him, would you like to come to New York for a day?
So let me get this straight. She feels disgusted and horrible about sleeping with different men, but yet one of the dudes, the chef, is texting him, basically just, talking to him because she's smitten over him, because she likes to screw him. And she's going to invite him to New York from Atlanta. And she's going to pay for his plane ticket plus pay him to sleep with her. This is what I mean. When you're this high up, you really just can't get your friends or buddies to come over because it's too embarrassing that your woman wants to sleep with other men. It's embarrassing as hell. So you don't want anybody to know. So you have to just pay somebody an escort because it's just too embarrassing.
The Brown said, yeah, I would. Jane Doe says, okay, let me set it up right now. Call me right now. Cabral calls, give his name, social security number, name, date of birth, and email. Jane Doe tells Cabral, your flight is at 10:23. Cabral came up to New York and he hit that. Jane Doe let him hit that.
So wait, he came to New York to smash Was Puffy there? Sounds like Puffy is still getting cheated on. Or, oh, you know what? They said they're going to have a hotel night. This, oh man. No, this is crazy. This is crazy.
Jane Doe testified that the next morning she texts Cabral, "Hi, laugh out loud, are you awake?" Cabral said, "Yeah, I'm awake." Jane Doe, gonna ask the status of the cash. Cabral says, "Okay, my love, I just left out." Jane Doe testifies, she tells Cabral, "Just ask the front desk for the envelope." Then she says, "Did you get the envelope?" And Cabral says, "Yes." As if.
Sounds to me like she's the one arranging paying him. So is she going to be charged with prostitution or soliciting or transportation because she flew him there? She contacted him to come there. Diddy didn't fly him out. She flew him out. She's flying out men for sex. Are you guys going to charge her with transportation for prostitution? Because it's not Diddy the one doing it. And Diddy wasn't selling her, so the only prostitute was the male escort. Diddy doesn't, they don't work for Diddy. Diddy doesn't have his own male escort agency. Are you guys going to charge the agency that this man works for and take down their website and have the federal government seize it? What's the procedure when you find out that there's male escorts and they're being solicited on the internet and they're flying to different states? What's the procedure? Are you going after the judge, or do you go after their employer? Do you go after the person who pays them? How does this work? And why are we only going after Diddy? Why is nobody else ever being charged with these same crimes? Don't like custom prosecution. I believe in prosecution of everyone equally under the law. This is not being equally applied to everyone under the law. The same way blacks are being charged for crimes, but illegals, they're protesting because they don't want them to be charged for crimes. How's that fair to Americans? We can get arrested and go to jail, but the illegals can't, or you guys are going to protest and destroy the city? Same thing with a double standard right here. It doesn't make sense. And I'm not feeling the I will never, I'll never say it's okay. I don't like double standards. I don't.
Puffy and Jane Doe left an envelope of cash with the front desk. That sounds a little fantastic to me. I need 500 thumbs up. I only got 415. Jane Doe then testifies that Puffy gave her COVID. 4 days later, Jane Doe flies from New York to Miami, and Cabral comes to Miami too.
Do me a favor, if you're listening to the commentary and you like it, or if it makes sense to you, like and subscribe, share the video, like the YouTube page if you can, The Single Boyfriend. I'm actually looking to get more followers. I do a bunch of these videos every day, different reactions, but this Diddy thing is pivotally important because it's going to change the dating landscape going forward, one way or another. We need to know the rules when it comes to dating women. Do you pay for food? Do you pay for drinks? Do you pay for rent? How much can you do for a woman before it's considered sex trafficking? Those are the next questions we got to start asking. When does it become trafficking? When I buy her dinner? Is it over $300, under $200? When does it become trafficking? Because we're just saying if it's not my wife, then it's trafficking. Because if I meet a woman and she's pretty, obviously I want to have sex with her. I'm only talking to her because of the sex part. I don't know her personality. I just know how she looks. So we're going to criminalize being shallow now too? You know, I need to know what's going on. We all do. That's why these cases are important. So do me a favor, like and subscribe, share the video. If you could, I would really appreciate some thumbs on the video. You know, if you can get those likes up, that way the algorithm will push out the video and more people to see it. This is all going to be posted on YouTube as well. But my friends are watching me on Facebook and they're just wondering, like, what the fuck is he doing? Because I don't seem like the type to be making these type of videos, but it's literally a similar lifestyle to the one that I live. And I'm like, do I got to worry about exes coming back later because they're poor and they need money and making up stories? I think everybody's going to have to worry about that. Everybody has to look. And there's already a lot of men being extorted. A lot of men being extorted. So, but I always make sure I have proof, have other people with me. I'm not just by myself alone with these people. Diddy, he was not alone with these women a lot, but there are some times where he was. You know, that can be problematic. So yeah, like the video if you can, I'd appreciate it.
Jane Doe then testifies that Puffy is telling her to set up a party for Puffy and Jane Doe. Puffy tells Jane Doe, set up a party for us. But then Jane Doe is sweating Puffy's Instagram and sees him online that he was with another woman on Instagram. And she get mad. That's only 478. I need 500 thumbs up. I'm short. Y'all got me short by 22. Jane Doe testified on the stand that on October 15th, 2023, Puffy reaches out to her. She texts Puffy back, you got that girl next to you, so figure it out. Puffy texts her back, girl, stop. I don't feed into this. You know I need you. Jane Doe texts back. She mentions 3 women Puffy was dating and asks, why don't you introduce them to the hotel night lifestyle you got me doing? Why you don't introduce Gina and Young Miami and your other honeys to what you got me doing?
That's none of your fucking business why they don't do what you're doing. And what you're doing, you guys all do different things. You're not my wife. You don't make demands to me and tell me what I should be doing. You should go get a new man. Go take care of yourself. Don't call me no more. Why are you making suggestions to me instead of just moving on? And then she doesn't know. What if I am doing freak offs and hotel nights with these other women? You think you're the only one? You think you're special? You think you're the only woman that likes having sex with men? And these are men that are strippers or everyday training. It's their job to be on point. And you think you're the only woman that is looking for that or would have a great time with that? They have a whole thing. They have a whole country called Jamaica that women want to go to on girls' trips for a reason. There's something in Jamaica called hedonism. Women like this thing called hedonism. Look it up. Diddy was actually providing that for the women in his life who were into that. No forcing, no turning out. He already knew they liked multiple men. They like to cheat. It means they like multiple partners. So she doesn't know if that's what Diddy's doing with these women or not. It's none of her business. She's like fishing for information. This is why I'm proud of Puffy. He's like started cutting her off. Like, don't mess with me then. Don't deal with me. But here they are still dealing with him. And you can't, this person's bringing himself around you. You can't say that person's being trafficked or forced into doing any goddamn thing.
The assistant U.S. attorney asked her, what were you jealous of? Jane Doe, I was frustrated that I didn't get love, respect, and romance from Puff that everybody else was getting. Puffy told her from the door, yo, I got a lot of honeys, man. I deal with a lot. I need 750 thumbs up. Hollywood T, you see it. Thank you for your channel membership.
I fuck with Unc, bro. I don't care what nobody say. Unc is cool. Hey, academics, good looking out for putting me on with Unc, bro. I didn't know who he was. I like him, bro. I like this guy.
I was frustrated that I didn't get love, respect, and romance that all the other honeys was getting. All the other honeys got. This honey was getting it, right? That honey was getting it. He giving it to that honey over there. He giving that honey love, respect, and romance.
Hey, Buddy Love got a lot of love to give. Buddy Love got a lot of love to give. So, and guess what? He's single. He can afford it. He should be able to give as much loving as he wants to out to women without the fear of being extorted or lied upon and drug into court by bitter ex-girlfriends. He should be able to do whatever he wants. I say the same thing for Shannon Sharp. No man should have to change his dating lifestyle out of fear of being extorted. Fuck that.
Man, love, respect, and romance. Yeah. He getting love, respect, and romance. Everybody getting love, respect, and romance but me. So I was mad. Puffy's constantly telling her, yo, I'm single. I told you from the door. When you told me you was deeply in love with me, I told you in Miami when I first met you. And yo, come to find out, Jane Doe had met Cassie one time with Puff at a celebration for Puff and at a fashion show. That came out. Jane Doe testified, I want to stop having sex with other men. Puffy texts her back, let's spend the day together, just me and you. Let me make love to you, filled with love. Then Puffy's lawyers jumped up, said, sidebar, sidebar. Puffy's lawyer. Puffy lawyer said, sidebar, sidebar.
Tell him, sidebar, sidebar. Hey, I gotta get a hat, another Trump. I gotta get another MAGA hat, and right here on the front of it, it's gonna say, sidebar. I need a sidebar, bro. We need a whole line of merch that says sidebar. Nobody can identify to me where. Okay, when you think crime, you think someone did something, they got caught, they go to court. You stabbed somebody, you stole something, you forged something, you hit somebody and ran and they got you on video. When I ask, it's just like with Trump. People say, yo, man, Trump's a felon. I said, for real? What kind of felon? Like what did he do felonious? Like, and if it takes you more than 10 words to tell me somebody's crime, then obviously there was some bullshit to make the crime real. If you have to play mental gymnastics and basically use the screenplay from the movie A Beautiful Mind with Kevin Spacey, and you have to draw out all these complicated scenarios to kind of twist it into a crime, then somebody's lying. They had to do that with Trump. 34 felonies. Okay, would he stab, shot? No, actually, it was in furtherance of another crime. Well, what's the other crime? Well, they never outlined it to us. And I'm like, well, then how are you going to say he was convicted or he was guilty of? So I ask people, well, what crime did Puffy commit? Are you trying to say Puffy's a pimp? No. Will you say he's a sex trafficker? Like he's out there, like, Sound of Freedom. He's flying through Mexico with little kids. No, but I heard he was having sex with Meek Mills and Justin Bieber at the same time while pouring a milkshake down Busta Rhymes' throat. And I'm like, God damn. So where's the crime? And like, is being gay a crime? Is fucking Busta Rhymes a crime? Or like, and then this other stuff about this other proof about, where's the proof about Bieber and Usher? Everybody keeps projecting all this weird shit into this case that I don't understand. So that's why I'm like, okay, well, what are we doing here? No one can clearly explain it to me. No one can explain it to me at all. It's sad that it comes down to this, but these are the state of the times we're in.
So I don't know why Puffy's lawyers them said sidebar, but as I was sharing with y'all earlier, we went over this Friday with you. We went over this with Mia. We went over this with Cassie. We went over this with, What are we doing here? We just going through, just saying the same old thing. You know, get to the proving of the RICO. Now, this is key. Assistant U.S. Attorney Comey, Jane Doe says, she texts Puffy, are you going to spend the day love bombing me? And then when she says the word love bomb, if you remember and you watch my video of when Dr. Dawn Hughes took the stand, when Jonathan Bach.
You're going to see this a lot more lately if they're going to start continuing to go after ex-boyfriends. They did this to Andrew Tate. Well, they tried. In the Romanian courts, when they had him locked in there for 3 years, what they said was Andrew Tate was guilty of love bombing women, basically convincing women that he loved them to get them to do things. How do you tell somebody whether they love someone or not? And how are you going to criminalize that? A man could love you today and change his mind by 3 o'clock this afternoon. It doesn't have to be, you can change, you don't have a right to change your mind anymore. So they're now trying to figure out how to basically prosecute love bombing a woman. You no longer can just change your mind about how you feel and move on. If you love bombed her, that's coercion and that's fraud. It's fraud because I said I wanted to be with you on Tuesday, but by Wednesday you see me with somebody else and I don't want to be with you anymore. So that's fraud now. That's how perverse this is. And this is a slippery slope. And we're on thin ice and most people don't even know where we're at right now. But that's where we are. That's what they're calling love bombing. That's when a man just comes out of the blue. He showers you with compliments and gifts, and he tells you how much he feels about you, and you fall in love. But some people are just extremely impulsive like that. They fall head over heels fast and easy. But as easy as they fall over head over heels, they can fall out of love too. You should be able to have the right to fall out of love without worrying about being prosecuted later. I mean, if you agree with me, like the video and share it.
Destroyed her on the stand. Dr. Dawn Hughes threw out a psychology quote of love bombing, meaning when the person, the abuser, acts extra nice to the victim to get them to reattach to them and stay connected to them. Are you going to spend the day love bombing me? This is what Jane Doe says. Now, Assistant U.S. Attorney says, how many times has Sean called you crazy? Because Jane Doe says that you guys want to cross the street. Y'all cross it? Go ahead. Ain't nobody coming. Where y'all from? From Europe? Uruguay? Europe? Yeah, they from out of town. I can tell because they right here waiting on the light to turn. The light turn. They just standing there. A New Yorker ain't gonna do that. New Yorker just gonna keep walking.
Yeah, basically, I'm telling them niggas, yo, man, get the fuck on, man. Your big ass back is in my picture right now. You know what I'm saying, B? Your big back ass, B. Yo, where you from, B? You're from Europe, right? Yeah, get your fuck out. Yeah, get your ass back to Europe, B. You know what I'm saying? It's fucking called Cameron or Kermit the fake frog face. Bro, I like these New York people. I need to get a New York accent, bro. I gotta figure out how to do it. Yo, son. Yo, Russell Simmons B. It's on my Timbs, yo. How do you shit. I gotta practice some more. I'm gonna figure it out though.
So Jane Doe often shares that Puffy calls her crazy. And this harkens back to Dr. Dawn Hughes, that abusers gaslight and call their victims crazy to keep them attached, to make them think it's their fault, love bombing them. And this is why she is going to be brought back in order to reiterate that. But I hope Jonathan Bach does her cross-examination again. Now, Jane Doe texts Puffy this. You want me to suck some dicks so you want me to just come to the hotel and suck some dicks so you could jet off to an island with Gina or Young Miami. Just leave me alone, just like you leave me alone when you with your other girls. This is what Jane Doe texts Puffy. When Puffy constantly telling her, yo, you could leave, I'm single. I got other girls, I've been telling you this.
There are going to be women on this jury who wish that being a playboy was a crime that was sentenced, the sentence was death. That's how these women feel nowadays. They don't really care for men anymore. This will likely be a hung jury because to get these women to admit that these aren't crimes, even though that's their fantasy and they wish that these could be crimes, it's going to be difficult. And you're going to have to find a real persuasive person on that jury to convince these women that there is no crime here. These women are going to want to see a man pay for everything that was ever done to them. That's how the mind of these women works. So this is likely going to be a hung jury, even though the trial shouldn't even go that far. It should be a mistrial. It should be thrown out anyway. But we're going to see.
They have a sobriety party. This is where Puffy and Jane Doe invite 3 men to be entertainers for them. A dude by the name of Rico, a dude by the name of Paul.
Hey, hold the fuck up. What? I don't, what year was Wait, what year was we talking? Like, wait, what? What happened? Because, you know, I ain't gonna get me wrong. I caught yellow fever a couple times, you know, so I'm not saying it's impossible, improbable, but not impossible. But yeah, they call it. And she said she wanted to do an all-star freak off, I think she said too. You know, like an all-star, like she wanted whatever niggas could dunk that dick the best. That's she want to get all 3 of them in the room, like. But then, you know, buy them some Jordans and everything. They walk around butt ass naked with J's on, which is crazy. They're just crossing each other up, cross up Diddy and go straight to his bed. I'm like thinking if Diddy was gay and these were male escorts, he could have been smashing them too, but he never did. I don't even think Diddy's gay anymore. I don't think he's a pedophile anymore either. And I thought both were true because that's what everybody told me. That's what the internet said. Honestly, I didn't think the internet could lie. Now I know the internet ain't shit. I get it now. Crazy.
By the name of Antoine. She does this sobriety party. She's with those 3 guys, and then she sleeps with Puff. So she's with 4 guys in one night. After the sobriety party, the very next day, Jane Doe texts Puffy, "Good morning, baby. I love you. Can you put something in my account? I need to pick up some things." Puffy don't reply. Jane Doe texts her, "I don't care about your porn star hoes. You know, I felt about, quote, quote, our relationship. Make other arrangements with your stupid ass hoes. I'm in pain, frustration, and agony." Puffy sends her a voice note, and Puffy says, "Leave me the fuck alone. I ain't with no other woman. I'm single. I don't know where the fuck Chelsea at." Jane Doe texts Puffy back, "I'm not Gina or Cassie." Puffy texts her back, say, "Look, if you don't want to deal with this, then bounce. And if you need 3 extra months in the house, let me know. You could leave. We could stop seeing each other, and I'll keep paying the rent for another 3 months. But I'm not going to pay the rent, and we not together. You understand? I'm not going to do that. Jane Doe texts him back, just match my 2 years of this relationship we've been in, this toxic relationship with a love contract. So just give me $10,000 a month. They agreed on $10,000 a month.
Yo, this nigga was insane. I would have never gave nobody no 10 fucking thousand a month. For what? That's a severance package. We're not even dealing with each other no more. But that's where, Puffy in his head, whoever's too much is given, much is required. You gotta do the, you tell like Tory Lanez, you gotta help the women. The fuck up. Look where it got you. All that being nice, all that trying to help. You're not really helping, you're enabling. And they're gonna turn on you anyway. It's a shame, bro. Like 10,000 a month. Do you know how much money that is? There's people that have careers that make barely half of that. They went to school. All this woman did was know how to have sex and look good. Next. Crazy.
Hey, don't tell us, Puff, just do our love contract of $10,000 a month to match the toxic 2 years of our relationship.
Oh, and by the way, he paid that and he's still paying her rent while he's in jail. $10,000 a month. Why would you even rent an apartment for $10,000 a month that you can't afford to pay on your own? Why couldn't you just rent a place for $4,000 or $3,000? Why would you pay somewhere for $10,000 a month? Like you don't even earn $10,000 a month. It's ridiculous.
There ain't no relationship. He told you from the door. He got a lot of women. He keep telling you he's single. He keep telling you leave. But you choosing to stay. Jane Doe says that she has PTSD and that she needs a therapist. This is all leading up to Dr. Dawn Hughes coming back. Puffy texts her back. They're putting the text messages up on the screen. Puffy texts her back. You're the one finding the men. You're the one reaching out to the entertainers. You're the one that wants that. Puffy texts her back. You're the one that's finding these men that you're doing these hotel nights with. You're the one reaching out to them by Instagram.
So she's the one reaching out. She's the one setting it up. Why is Diddy the one being blamed? Make it make sense. Explain it. Why is he the one being blamed? And how is it illegal if there's websites where you can actually book the time of escorts? You can book their time. It's not illegal. If that was the case, the websites wouldn't exist. Booking time for the escorts is legal. The sex is free. The time is what you're paying for. She's booking these men because these are men she's attracted to. Puffy's just being a good side dude and covering it. I mean, sure. I mean, it sounds like he probably didn't like it at first. He's kind of getting used to it. But he's really doing it for her because none of the guys are doing a goddamn thing to him. So let's not pretend that actually being in the act and being a voyeur, it's not the same kind of pleasure. If anything, Diddy's getting ripped off.
One who wants that. Jane Doe, you trying to gaslight me. She's making it seem like she was forced. Puffy tell her you can leave. You can leave, bounce, man. Go, bye. Then Jane Doe texts Puffy, I know I was consenting. In the text, I know I was consenting to the hotel nights. Jane Doe texts Puffy that. Jane Doe texts Puffy that. She was consenting. Then Assistant U.S. Attorney heard Jane Doe say that and saw the text. She had to flip that around. Say, Jane Doe, why did you say you were consenting? Because Puffy's previous conversation where Puffy said you look like you were enjoying yourself in the videos, because Puffy would always film them. Puffy would always film them. Who is that? They're kicking somebody out of court. 5-0 right there. They got that Louis Mangione trial going on down here too. Harvey Weinstein down here. Check this part out. Check this part out. Jane Doe, for Puffy's birthday, she testified to this on the stand. She bought Puffy a mobile television that he can carry around in the house, a TV. A mobile television. Jane Doe testified under oath on the stand. She bought Puffy a mobile television so that he could watch their hotel nights. He could watch the sexual escapades of her with the entertainers and her with Puff. She bought him the TV specifically for that reason. Then she said Puffy went to London. While Puffy was in London, Cassie filed her lawsuit. Cassie filed a lawsuit November 16, 2023, and she said it was all over the news. She got a copy of the lawsuit, and when she read it, she fainted. She fainted. Dark-skinned Jermaine. Man, the perp walked Diddy for this BS charge. I have a red carpet at the cars that reads not guilty. Diddy BOP after trial, he could dance out. Jane Doe testified on the stand that when she read Cassie's lawsuit, she fainted. She fainted. She fainted. She said she fainted. What's up, man?
Yo, Uncle is hilarious. He said, yo, she said she fainted. And nigga walked away and looked back. Yo, Unc is that dude, bro. I fuck with
She said that there were 3 specific pages inside of Cassie's lawsuit that mirrored and resembled her own experience.
Big fucking deal. Everything, okay. He's the same man. Any man that you deal with is pretty much going to be the same guy across the board. So any woman he deals with, you and her are going to parallel on your complaints and the bullshit you say about him because you're still talking about the same man. He's not one way with you, one way with her. He's the same dude. That's not a coincidence, and that's not a fucking crime. It's not proof of transportation for prostitution, trafficking, or RICO. What the fuck are we talking about here?
She was bewildered. She was shocked. She couldn't sleep. She had nightmares, and it was like she was reading her own story, and then she started crying. How you doing? You be following me?
I gotta go.
Come here, just say hi to the people real quick, and tell them you be following me.
Hi to the people.
They can't see you. Come on, one more time.
Yeah, hi to the people real quick. I've been following them. Good stuff.
What's your name?
Tasha.
Thank you, Toss.
Yo, got fans.
I met Cassie in person in 2015.
Got fans. People think I have fans because I used to do this show, you know, my Cougar Me Jones Club Rico show for years or whatever. And I have people that know me from the show, fans, whatever, but got real fans, people that know him from doing not funny stuff, but actually serious work. Like, this is actually real work. showing up to these courthouses and stuff. It's a zoo. To be there bright and early, taking notes, and then to have to translate it to the public because they won't let cameras inside. It's not easy. So respect to shout out
at the fashion show and at a celebration for Puff. Now, this is where things got a little rough for Puff, right? The government, Miss Comey, Assistant U.S. Attorney, the prosecution, after Cassie filed her lawsuit, right? You know, Puffy grabbed that and he take care of that. But the prosecution plays some audio of phone conversations between Puffy and Jane Doe, where you can hear Puffy's whole vibration is down. He don't sound the same. And somebody recorded these phone calls. Jane Doe says she didn't record them and she didn't know she was being recorded. So it was either Puffy recorded these conversations or his phone was tapped by the feds. It was one of the two.
I'll be honest
But
with you. I'll tell you my theory about it. Puffy was starting to realize that some of these women might not be that loyal. So he wants to do is he wanted to have evidence showing that they all consented. And, you know, he had some text messages, but he wanted some audio. More than likely, Puffy was recording the calls just so that he can play them back at a time like this to show that he's innocent. And he was a smart man to do so because this is also going to help the jury. Because remember, everyone is typically supposed to be guilty until innocent until proven guilty. When you're if you're a dude like Puffy, you're guilty until proven innocent. This is all helping prove how innocent he is. If they thought he was guilty in the beginning, there's no way anybody can think he's guilty now besides women who want him to be guilty for being a playboy. And that's the only thing he seems to be guilty of is being a playboy.
Played like about 8 minutes worth of phone calls between Puffy and Jane Doe. And Puffy is like, they say you can hear him scribbling down with a Sharpie pen and a notebook. And then this is what the assistant U.S. attorney suggests. And then Jane Doe says, yeah, he used to do that all the time. He used to scribble and write stuff down with a Sharpie pen on a marker, on a notebook.
You know, let's just go ahead and be real. You know, there was really nothing here. All we're hearing about is jealous women basically being catty over each other. No bombshell testimony that he was in here raping kids, women, pets, men. Like, this is all just bullshit. But, you know, this is what happens when the feds and the police hear rumors from Black Twitter and these people on the internet. And they have to investigate them. And they have to make an arrest. They did the same thing to R. Kelly. The problem was there was no social media like the way it is now where we can monitor the case with a fine tooth, with a microscope and see what's happening. They're not going to be able to railroad Diddy the way they did R. Kelly. They couldn't, they tried to railroad Jay-Z and then he sent his own interviewers and that whole case is over and Busby doesn't even want to go after other people no more because his credibility is shot after that. So things are changing and we're learning a lot, but this case is just so ridiculous. I'm gonna take a break for a second and I'm gonna go through the comments on these other platforms, get some lunch, and then I'll be back on in about 30 minutes. So hope you guys can get back on and rock with me. I'm Rico. This is the Single Boyfriend Club Rico, and I'll see you guys shortly. And like the video, share it, and follow the YouTube page, The Single Boyfriend on YouTube. Okay, and I'll see you guys. Thank you.
I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.